They said I was gone. They said I'd never be back. But here I am. I'm back and I'm better than ever. Today, we're making ramen with crispy tofu. Konnichiwa, my bean lovers. Welcome back to a special episode of Reid's Beans. Today we'll be using dried shiitake mushrooms, wood ear mushrooms, cassia bark, star anise, kelp, dried tangerine, and a handful of soybeans. Now you might be wondering, Reid, where do you get these weird mushrooms? You go to your local Asian grocery store and say, 请问你有没有奇怪的蘑菇? And then they'll be like, oh, right over here, sir. And they'll hand you one of these. Now you might be saying, Reid, why do you have to use mushrooms? Mushrooms are gross. Well, first of all, watch your tone and change your diaper, because mushrooms are great. Even if you don't want to eat them, you can just add them to the stock and it'll add a great flavor. For the tofu, you're going to want to press it either in a sneaky tofu press like this, or get some cutting boards and press it all together. And then you're going to want to set your undo to 400. You want to cut your tofu into little cubes. What you're going to want to do next is grab your Sanjay reduced sodium tamari and douse these bad boys. Okay, once you got these bad boys nice and coated in their tamari, you're going to want to sieve your cornstarch so that you get all the tofu nice and coated. You want to spread these bad boys out so that they get some nice air to breathe. Set a timer for 15 minutes, flip them, set a timer for 15 minutes again, and then take them out. So with these carrots, they're just going to get charred and go in the stock, so just cut them real rough. With these green onions, cut off the root, and then separate the green from the white. So with the peppers, always watch your fingers, wash your hands right after you touch them. And with the ginger, you're just gonna wanna... A very central part of this recipe is garlic. If you don't like garlic, go find another recipe. When you're charring vegetables, you wanna be on a very high heat, and you wanna be careful and don't use your fingers. So when your onions are nice and charred like this, take them, put them in the stock. Motherfucker. What I'm about to add to this stock is some 3-year barley miso. Next, what you want to add is a little bit of Sanjay reduced sodium tamari. We're going to add just a tablespoon or so of rice vinegar. It gives it a nice acidic taste that's very important to bring out all the other flavors. It's important to taste your food as you go so that you know how to season it. Umami. But it could use a little bit more umami, so we're going to add Ajinomoto, aka MSG. Ooh, look at those crispy boys. Now it's important to salt your tofu when it comes out of the oven so it stays crispy. After you've been simmering your ramen for 4 hours, it's time to... When you're chopping up your green onions for the topping, you want to chop them diagonally and thin so that they look aesthetic. Now when using the mandolin, you really got to be careful of your fingies because it's very sharp, and when you get down to this, you might as well just eat the rest of the carrot. Alright, so when you boil your ramen, you want to make sure that you boil it without salt. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of Reid's Beans. Delicious.